flip side, if the Seahawks win, they clinch the NFC West. But to clinch a first-round bye, they need to win, plus the Packers need to lose to the Lions. And if they want home field advantage, they need to beat the Niners and have both the Packers and Saints lose. Here's Mark Schwartz on Seattle's call for help.
Susie, Jadeveon Clowney says Marshawn Lynch has created a buzz in the Seahawks locker room. And Bobby Wagner agrees, saying it's like getting your brother back. Wagner says Lynch still has those fast feet, but that expectations have to be realistic for a player who hasn't taken a snap in 14 months. Russell Wilson says Lynch has a great feel for this offense and that despite some new terminology, the communication in the backfield is real. The challenge for the 33-year-old Lynch is to quickly shake off the rust for the most important game of the Hawks season.
I think you would think the physical part for sure. But for him, he's been working. He looks great. He looks explosive, looks fast, looks strong, quick as ever.
Marshawn and I laughed about it earlier today. It's like, man, we picked a heck of a week to come back, didn't we? With the NFC West Championship on the line. I couldn't think of a better opportunity.
Marshawn's definitely one of those guys who's, no matter what, he's given everything, every play, every moment, and is going to bring that, and you're going to feel that, in the locker room. You're going to feel that, when he's in the huddle. So it's great to have him back, obviously, and bring that juice, bring that energy, bring that focus and tenacity.
Clowney says he's always wanted to be on Lynch's team. He says he wants to even take notes as he watches him in the locker room and called Lynch a highlight reel just waiting to happen. Clowney says he's been watching Lynch at practice, too, and said he looks good. Then he added, if he didn't, I don't think we'd have signed him. And Susie, Clowney called it a big morale boost for a team that needed one after its worst loss of the season.
Mark, this is just an incredible move. Marshawn spent 11 seasons in the NFL, but, he really found his groove in Seattle. He averaged 77.4 rush yards per game with the Seahawks and accumulated 57 rushing touchdowns, which is the second most in Seahawks history, which sets up the numberjack, as our resident lumberjack, Rob Ninkovich, will take his swings at some numbers entering Week 17. So I'm going to say the number, and you tell me if you're backing or hacking.
Yes.
And let's use the rush yards that Marshawn averaged with the Raiders, which is 60 per game, backing or hacking for this week.
All right, so I'm going to have to back this guy up because it's Marshawn Lynch. I've tried to tackle this man. He is a man. He is very strong. He ate Skittles on the sidelines for energy. Like that, normal athletes don't eat Skittles on the sideline to have a boost of energy. He is going to be fine. He's strong. I guarantee he was always strong. Even when he was playing a few years ago, probably walked in the weight room, just did some squats, like, yeah, I got this, walk right out. So I can guarantee you he's going to be able to run the football. And I'm going to think that the stadium at home, when Lynch comes out of the tunnel, is going to be bananas. Bananas. So I can't wait to watch it. I'm backing him. I think he's going to do it.
All right, so I would say on the one hand, he's, he may need to be in football shape. On the other hand, he's like the only healthy guy in the field on Sunday night. Everybody else is banged up, right?
Look, he's probably feeling really healthy. Maybe after the game's going to be a little sore. He'll feel good for the first half. Then he's going to be, a little sore, but Ice Tubs will be all right.
And guys, how about Marshawn's most recent team, the Raiders? This is crazy. See if you can follow. Entering Week 16, the Raiders needed 10 different results to claim the 6th seed. 5 of them have happened. And now they just need to beat the Broncos, have the Steelers lose, the Colts win, the Titans lose, and a win by either the Bears, Lions, Chargers, or Patriots to make the playoffs. Rob, that equals 13% chance of making the playoffs. Are you backing or hacking this?
Let me tell you about the Raiders here and the football coach and John Gruden. Let me tell you a little bit about that guy. I'm going to come over here this way. I'm going to hack that thing up there. I'm hacking this thing up because a lot of things got to happen for that grinding to happen, for them to get into the playoff. I don't think it's going to happen. So I'm hacking that thing up. Next year is going to be a better year for them, hopefully. It's going to be in Vegas. It's not going to be in Oakland. It's going to be a different stadium, different atmosphere. So hopefully you can get back on track. But I don't think it's going to be this year for the old ball coach.
You guys on board with the hacking of the 13%?
13%.
I've seen stranger things happen in the season. I mean, to have 5 things already lay out there, You just never know, Susie. You never know.
Put that Wesleyan education to use here right now. I'm hacking this.
Hack
There's
it
no
up.
way.
Hack it up.
Not happening.
Hack it up.
Not happening. Sorry.
Little in doubt for the Ravens, except this. The Ravens need 93 rushing yards to break the team's single-season record held by the 1978 Patriots. No Lamar Jackson or Mark Ingram Sunday against the Steelers. So what do you think? Are they getting that 93?
I'm hacking it up. No, they're not getting the 93. You don't have your most potent players on the field. You're resting people. You're trying to get yourself ready for the playoffs. RG3 is not Lamar Jackson. And if he thinks he is, I've played against him, and I've seen him. He's a little skinny there. I don't think he should be taking the hits that Lamar's able to take. We all seen his ability to get out of big hits and move and kind of be that slithering type player. So RG3, I don't think they're going to be able to get that done just looking at the defense that they're playing as well. They're playing a very good defense.
I'm going back in because I think they can actually play for this. And by the way, Gus Edwards, who leads the NFL in terms of carries, the gain yards. Also, this offensive line averages more yards before contact per rush. Very good offensive line, reasonable fill-in back. I'm backing it.
All right,
Sorry,
backing
Ninko.
it. Back it.
This is
Can
me
you hack
right
it,
here.
though? Can you even hack it?
I can't. No,
I don't
come
know.
on now. Oh, now it's getting personal. You better watch out. I'm hitting the weight room after this show.
Field is the lumberjack. Yeah.
Grow the beard.
Finally, Christian McCaffrey needs 67 receiving yards to join Marshall Faulk and Roger Craig as the only players with 1,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards in a season. What do you think? Are you back? Is he going to get it?
Backing it. I'm backing it up. If you've watched him this season, he's been special. And his ability to just teams come into the game knowing we need to stop McCaffrey. We need to stop this man. And he is still able to run the football, catch the ball out of the backfield, and do all those things that are pretty special. So for me, I'm going to have to say he's a go-to guy, and he's continuing to be a go-to guy. He's always going to be a go-to guy, and he has been the guy for the Panthers to put the whole weight of the offense on his shoulders, and he's done a great job. So I'm going to back that. I think he gets it done because he's having a special year.
Interim offensive coordinator Scott Turner said anything he can do to get Christian these yards, they're getting it done.
Love that mentality.
That's right.
Isn't that
So you
nice?
better back it.
Force feed it. Force feed him.
Back it.
He deserves it. You know, bright spot in a tough season. Wide receiver Antonio Brown worked out for the playoff-bound Saints this morning. Here's Adam Schefter.
As the imagination of Saints fans everywhere ran wild with the thought of Antonio Brown and Michael Thomas playing together, there is another reality, and the reality is that the NFL's investigation into Antonio Brown's alleged acts of sexual assault continues on. Nobody other than the NFL knows exactly how close the league is to making a ruling, but even when it does, there are people around the league who believe there's the distinct possibility that further discipline awaits Antonio Brown. And that is why nobody expects Antonio Brown to play for the Saints on Sunday against Carolina, and nobody thinks that it's realistic that he'll wind up playing this postseason for the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are doing their due diligence. They're doing it with a group of wide receivers. 6 of them worked out for the franchise on Friday. And they're doing it at a time that the NFL is continuing on with an investigation that many think will result in more discipline for Antonio Brown.
Thank you, Adam. Let's roll on with our Sunday showcase. This week, with the NFC South on the line, make that the NFC West on the line, the Niners and the Seahawks meet in Seattle.
If you sat here and said at the end of the season, it's going to be you and the 49ers, for the division, that's exactly what you would want.
We know the team we're going against. We saw them earlier this year.
Wilson, pressure off the edge, releases it, and it is intercepted. Can you believe this? It comes down to McLaughlin to stay undefeated, and it had no chance. Here goes Russ, and he makes magic again. 42-yarder for the win, and Seattle has done it.
This is a special team. Guys care about each other. Guys care about winning. Guys go out there and execute, and they fight to the last second.
Here comes a blitz. He's going to get hit and sacked. Touchdown, San Francisco!
Francisco.
We have a chance to win the NFC West. That's the reality.
Touchdown Seahawks. Wilson able to put it on the money. Ball is intercepted by Wagner. Another big play.
We have to stay with the focus that's right in front of us right now.
They're out of guys. Rashad Penny's hurt. Prosise is hurt.
Saw the backs they lost, so you knew they were going to sign someone.
Happy holidays. It's a great feeling to be back.
And whenever he puts his jersey and pads on, he's a guy that no one wants to tackle.
Hostile environment, Sunday Night Football, so can't wait for it.
So something to consider here, although a lot has changed with who the weapons are, but the Seahawks average 376 yards per game this season. The Niners hold teams to just 277, which is the